Hello, this is Yvonne Menear, and this is video number 4 in a series of EQStitch lessons. We're going to start by opening our EQStitch program by double-clicking on the icon on the desktop to have it launch. Once the program launches, the first thing that comes up is the tip of the day. We're going to close that. I have already created a name for the project I'm going to show you today, so rather than create a new project, I'm going to open the project that I named. I named this video for creating string art. So when I select that and click on OK, the project book opens. I haven't done anything yet, so we're just going to close that. And now you can see in the upper left hand corner there is the name of the project that this lesson will be. I'm going to show you how to draw the string art, the game we used to play when we were children. It's pretty straightforward. But I know that when I'm doing this that I want nothing but a linear stitch pattern. I don't want any fill stitches. So rather than correcting it later on the stitch tab, I'm going to set it up to start with so it automatically sets that definition for me. So I'm going to click on the drawing board icon. On my embroidery edge settings, I want to have a bean stitch. This is also referred to as a triple stitch. It is a straight line of stitches. A bean stitch is what I want for my lines. And for embroidery fill, I do not want any fill. I want just lines. So I've turned it off. I've selected no stitch. Another thing that I do is I make sure that these little grid points are visible on my screen. So under Snap Grid, if you have displaced small dots, you might not be able to see them well. I set mine to display large grid dots. That way I can see where I'm going easily. Once I have this set up, then I'm going to say OK. Now I'm going to create a triangular kind of shape on my screen that will simulate how we used to run string from one point to another across a board with nails in it to create an artistic design. I am using a straight line tool, and I'm simply going to use my dots to follow. So I'm going to start, I'm going to click, hold, and drag and release, and then I'm going to click, hold, drag, and release. Now I want to continue click, drag, and hold from dot to dot without causing a break. I'm not jumping from dot to dot. I'm literally drawing from dot to dot. So I'm going to start right here at this end. I'm going to go from this dot here, and I'm going to go to the inside dot there. Now I'm going to draw up to the next dot. I'm going to come down and draw to the second dot in. I'm going to draw over to the third dot and up to the third dot. I'm going to draw up to the next dot and down, and I'm just going to continue in this pattern of drawing from dot to dot. I don't want to just jump up and start a new line at the next dot. I'm literally drawing from dot to dot. The reason I'm doing this is I don't want my machine to stop and tie off at the end of each of these lines. I want the machine to continuously stitch. This way I'm creating a path for the needle to follow at the machine with a smooth stitch from point to point without any break, without any stopping, without any tying off. Now it looks like I'm creating a curved line. I'm not. I'm just creating a straight line, but it's an optical illusion where those lines cross over changes slightly from line to line, and it makes it look like it is indeed a curve, but it isn't. And now I'm at the end. So I drew this a bit too long here, so I'm just going to edit this. I'm going to click on the edit tool, click on the end of my line, and I'm just going to bring it down to where I actually stopped. So now I have this string art design on my page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the whole thing. So I'm going to use the pick tool. I'm going to click and drag around the entire area, and then I'm going to resize it, and I'm just visually going to resize it down. So it's quite a bit smaller. I'm now going to take this center crosshair and I'm going to move it onto this vertical cross line in my block. I'm going to bring it down just a bit actually, so that it stays away from the edge of my hoop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to rotate it around so I have different elements. Since it's selected with the pick tool, I'm going to go up to the wreath maker and I'm going to tell it to make 3 elements, and I'm going to bring it down a bit to about 25 or so that the elements will overlap, and I'm going to say OK. Now I'm going to center this in the center. This is the center of my hoop. I'm clicking on the Stitch tab, and you can see all those lines are automatically created because we had it set in the drawing board. I'm going to click on the thread selection color. I'm going to click a bright yellow. I'm also going to click on the spray can at the top, and when I click on the screen, all of my threads are colored at one time. Now the most dramatic visual effect for this type of a design is to have this color of thread be in high contrast to your background. Right now the yellow is not high contrast to the white background. I want to see what it would look like if I put it on a very dark fabric. So if I go up to the Sew Simulator and I click on it, one of the options we have is, for one thing, to watch it sew, and we can just click play forward and we can watch those stitches of each element being laid down. The other thing we can do is we can change our background. If we click on the down arrow, we can choose any number of colors around the color wheel. No matter which color you choose, you can change the saturation. So if I choose a blue one and I slide this down, I can get different levels of lightness and brightness and of color saturation along the wheel. So I'm going to put it high saturation, and I'm going to put it very dim, which means it's black, and I'm going to say OK. And now you can see I have this wonderful graphic image of string art, and it will stitch in a continuous stitch from element to element against the background fabric. You can make each of these elements a separate color by clicking on the Set Thread tool. You would have to select the recolor a single fill edge at a time rather than the spray can. Select a different color and it will change it one element at a time. So it's up to you how you want it to look. Remember to add it to your sketchbook so you have it saved. From here, if you're happy with the design, you go up to Stitching, Export a Stitching File. You need to find your machine make down here. There's all the different machine makes. Mine is a Brother machine, and I'm just going to name this file String Art. And it is saved in the EMB folder as the default for the program. You can see I have other designs already in here. I click on the word Save, and it's asking me if I want to color sort. I don't need to sort any more that's already here, so I'm going to say no. And it tells me it has created my design for me in the file format that I need, and say OK. Now, when that little pop-up box came on here, it made a funny little overlap on my page. It's no problem. All I need to do is just refresh my page by clicking on the little equal sign at the top of the page. Whenever you find that when you're drawing, if you have little spots that seem to disappear, just click on the refresh icon and your visual will come back again. So that's all I have for now. Have fun playing with the string art. I hope you enjoyed this video.